what can be better than a stick? How about 3 sticks combined together to make the ultimate gear hanging, cooking, shelter making, spying, shooting stick? Well, stick around and I'll show you how you can easily make them and how I like to use them. Hi folks, Tom from FanDappyDozy and TomLanghorn.com. Thanks for tuning in. I'm standing here in the smoke to try and get rid of the midges because they are terrible right now. Now, I know what some of you are going to say. Tom, that's just a tripod. And I say, you're right, it is just a tripod. But it's a really nice tripod made from specially selected hazel sticks that have seasoned. So it's nice and light, so you can still use it as a walking stick. But it's still sturdy enough that you can use it for all the multifunctional things you can use a tripod for, which is what I'm going to show you today. Now, why am I showing you this? Well, it was inspired from a few things. First of all, when beginners ask me, you know, they just get into bushcraft, they ask me what things should they focus on. I always recommend that beginners get good at making tripods because they're just so useful. Every time that I go to camp, I often make them to hang my gear, I make them to make pot hangers, but you can scale them up to make huge shelters, you can make lifting devices, bridges. There's endless things you can do with tripods. However, especially here in Scotland, you don't always find nice straight sticks. And even if you do, it's not very sustainable to always be cutting down trees wherever you go. So I've always thought, man, it would be nice if you could just take a tripod with you all the time. The second thing that inspired me is some of the folks who are currently doing my online course, Resilient Roots Survival Training for the Art of Living. And on my online course, there's a community page, and there some people were posting some shelter systems that they had made using their poncho, displayed on a tripod as the front face of the shelter. And I thought, yeah, okay, that's a pretty cool idea. And again, it would be even better if you could somehow just always have that tripod with you. And the final thing that convinced me to go ahead and make these was that I recently did my level 1 deer stalking course. So in the UK, there's different qualifications you can get for deer hunting. So I did my level 1, and in the woodland stalking module, they introduced me to shooting sticks. Now, although I grew up hunting with an air rifle, I never used shooting sticks, right? It was always just prone or maybe a bipod. But in the woodland environment, you don't always get a chance to lie down or rest your rifle, so shooting sticks are very popular. They come in many configurations. You can get ones that are like a little tripod that are set with a trigger, called trigger sticks. You get a quad stick one, where there's 2 sticks come and support the butt of the rifle. Many different ones, but if you're buying them, they're at least like £100. I'm like, £100 for a stick? So it finally convinced me that, right, I'm going to try make my own. So this is what I came up with. So how do you make the tri-stick? Well, it's really quick and easy, just a little bit different than making a kind of normal bushcraft tripod. But step 1, you want to find 3 straight sticks. These are made of hazel, and you want them about eye level. You'll find out why in a second. You want them strong enough so that when they're together, they can support your weight. And when they're as a tripod, they will at least support the weight of your rucksack, okay? But there's a balance on, you don't want them so heavy that you don't want to carry them around, but you don't want them so spindly that you'll never be able to hang anything off them. Step 2, I just use the awl of my penknife to drill a hole in each of them about a hand distance down, okay? So all 3 of the sticks, I've got a hole in them. The next step is to get a piece of cord, this is just some natural cordage, and thread it through all of the holes with your thickest stick being in the middle. And that's important, having that thickest stick in the middle. Once you've threaded it through all 3, you then just weave them in and out the sticks, and then lash those weaves together just a little bit, tying off with a couple of half hitches. Really, really simple. Having that piece of cord going through the holes almost acts like an axle, and it allows the sticks to move a little bit so they're quick and easy to deploy. So you want a little bit of play in them so they're easy to deploy, but that they don't make a creaking noise. That's important. Final step is to make some sort of latch that allows the bottom of the tripod to close together. This is just a bit of bungee cord with a little wooden toggle. That little wooden toggle just means I can lift it and it goes through the loop and it's easy to come off like that. You could even, to keep this part simpler, you could just get a bit of bungee cord and thread it through the holes and have a toggle or something like that. Doesn't really matter as long as the sticks stay together and they have some flexibility as well. If you've made them from green wood, then they're going to be fairly heavy because they'll have water in it. So the next thing is just to leave it to season. I just left this in my shed for about a month. It's summertime. Wasn't too hot, but it wasn't too cold. And in that time, they've become much more lighter. The final step you'll see here is I just got a blowtorch and I burnt it a little bit to try and make it a bit more camouflage, but I'll probably burn it a little bit more so it's completely dark colored. So the first use I'll show you is as an equipment stand. So I'll hold it in the middle stick, hit that toggle, and the way you deploy it is just push that middle stick in between the two, and you can use your knee to push out the inner leg and deploy it that way. So that middle stick is then pointing outwards where you can hang your rucksack. Now there's a few advantages to being able to hang your equipment. One, it keeps it dry, keeps it out of the wet, keeps it out of the mud. It stops ticks and other biting insects crawling all over it. It stops things getting lost. What I can do is I can just open up a rucksack here. I can actually clip the waistbands together. Now, this makes it really easy to unpack your bag and hang your equipment in the order in which they've come out your bag, so that when it comes to packing everything again, everything goes back into the rucksack in the same order. That's especially handy if you've got a small rucksack with lots of equipment and it's only going to fit if you put it in the right way. Other advantages of being able to hang your equipment is it stops things getting lost and broken, especially when most of your kit is green or a camouflage color. And another great thing is that I've got an old back injury. So if I'm camping for days and my rucksack is always on the ground and you're also having to bend over to get things in and out rucksack, it's pretty hard in your back. So this just allows me to stand up straight. It's way easier on my back. Also, when it comes to setting up camp, this is essentially the beginning of furniture, right? And you can move it around wherever you want, keep it under your tarp so it's dry. And I like to, especially when I'm hammock camping, put it next to where my head is so that I can access anything from my rucksack from the comfort of my hammock. And of course, your tri-stick can also be used as a pot hanger. As part of my canteen kit, I usually carry this lightweight chain and a little camping cup. So this can easily just hook over your fire. And as long as that fire is nice, small and controlled, you don't let the flames get too big, then it's not gonna burn through your sticks. So another handy thing you can use a tri-stick for is to make a makeshift shelter. Now this is the rucksack system that I teach you how to put together as part of my online course. And the shelter system of that is a quick deploy multifunctional poncho system. So the poncho shelter usually relies on trees to set it up. But if you don't have any trees, if all you have is an open flat space like here, this can be used to get your shelter started. Once again, I just hold the middle stick, deploy it like that. Make sure the ends of the sticks are shoved into the ground a little bit. Your ridge line attached at the base of that middle stick over the tripod. Set it up in different configurations. I'm going to do it a diamond configuration. Peg out the corners and boom. And there you go. You've got a makeshift poncho shelter. You would want to have that lower end facing the wind so the wind deflects upwards. And it means that, you know, you can still get kit out your rucksack, but But if it starts raining, or if you're going to bed, you can just bring your rucksack inside, set up your bed space with your sleeping pad and whatnot. You can even light a small and controlled fire and hang a pot off it. As long as you're keeping it small and controlled, there's no problem. So the final use I want to show you is to use it as a spying and shooting stick. Now, I briefly mentioned spying before, but this is why we cut our sticks so that they are eye level, so that we can very easily rest our binoculars. It lines up very nice and comfortably with our eyes, and that means that we can scan the landscape in a very controlled manner without our hands and arms getting tired. Now, when it comes to shooting, this could be shooting with a camera or a rifle. Now, I don't have a rifle with me, so I'm just making do with the stick and a bit of string. Now, if you're using them as shooting sticks for woodland stalking, then you want to get quite practice with them, and I still need a bit of practice. But essentially what you want to be able to do is that if you're stalking along the woods and you spot your quarry, you should be able to quickly and easily undo that toggle, deploy it, get your rifle off your shoulder and resting on the sticks in under 5 seconds. That's what you should be trying to practice. Now, I'll admit they're not as quick and easy to use as specialist shooting sticks that you can buy, but with a bit of practice, they do the job, and you know, you can make them for free. So there is some room for improvement. I think I will continue to burn this so it's dark, it's a dark color all the way along. I want to make this release switch a bit faster to undo and redo. Another thing is that although they are pretty light, if I was doing a long distance expedition where I didn't really need a tripod for all those other uses, then I probably would just bring my normal single stick. But for hunting, fishing, photography, camping, generally just kind of pottering around the woods, you're not walking for miles and miles and miles, then I 100% just grab these because they're just so useful. If you want to join the tribe of like-minded folk embracing survival training for the art of living, then check out my online course linked below, Resilient Roots. It'd be great to have you there. So I hope you enjoyed this video, folks, on the tri-stick. I hope it's inspired you to go make some for yourself. They're honestly so useful if you spend a lot of time out in the woods. You might have noticed I've been trying out these easier to film videos in amongst my higher budget films. So I hope you folks are enjoying them. Let me know what you folks think. Leave a comment. Don't forget to hit that like button. Helps with the algorithm. If you haven't subscribed yet, come on. And I'll see you in another video very soon.